Welcome to Lift Up Nations. I'm Robb Leech, and today's episode is Dr. Robb Kelly's live testimony. How you doing, Robb?
Been fantastic, Rob. Thanks for having me. Hey, guys, great to see you this beautiful day.
So tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into your testimony.
So, my name is Dr. Rob Kelly, guys. I specialize in psych. We treat alcoholism, addiction, childhood trauma, depression, anxiety, and we've just early started dementia and Alzheimer's. Have some great results right now in researching that. We have around a 98% success rate over the 20, 25 years I've been doing this with over 10,000 patients. So we kind of know what's going on. Struggling alcoholic myself, died twice on the streets of Manchester while I was homeless. You know, the usual story. But today I live in San Antonio, Texas with my wife, two English bulldogs, and my cat. And I'm living life, man, like it's never been lived before because I get to 60 years old 4 years ago, and I thought, you know something, I'm stop caring what people think about me. I'm going to do my own stuff. I'm going to bring as many people to God as I can. And that's the mission I've been on. It's just been an amazing journey, to be honest.
Great. That's an awesome story to start with. So let's dive into your testimony and see where God leads us. So, what did your life look like before Jesus was in it?
So I was born into a family that lived on the projects, very low income. My mum cleaned houses, and my dad dug the roads up for the gas company that laid the pipe. So very low income, but lots of love in the house, as they say. No religion, no nothing like that. Though I was a choir boy at the church because my school was attached to the church, so I became a choir boy. I had a pretty good voice, they told me. Uh, and life was, I won't say hard, but we didn't have any money, so I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go on school trips and everything. So, but I did have a musical family. So I got my first guitar at the age of 3, and then by 9, I'm professionally playing on a stage with my auntie and uncle, getting paid for it. I was the richest kid in our school, I'm sure I was. But yeah, every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'd be out there and playing. And at the age of 9, I took my first drink of alcohol. Now, back in the day, nobody knew about alcoholism.
Mhm.
They just think it's a choice. Never heard of AA and stuff like that. And it kind of was on a ticking time clock from then for me. So I know today that alcoholics are born and drug addicts are made. That might freak some people out. Maybe we'll get into that later. But yeah, I mean, went normal school, playing every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Middle school, just drinking every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. One beer, nothing more,
Mhm.
just to get me in the mood. Went through school. I didn't do amazing at school, but I did okay. But what I found was, and this is the crazy part of all of this, guys, is I was noticing that I was achieving. Like I got an invite to join the Freemasons. In England, it's the most secret thing ever. Not like over here, it's advertised. Oh, it's so secret in England. It's a big thing. A friend of mine's dad was a key member in the lodge, and they needed a keyboard player. And the one that's doing it died, and they were all old guys, so they invited me to step in to save the day, but they had to make me a Freemason. And from that, I went to college. And yeah, just, growing up, thinking alcohol was part of the deal and that everything would be okay. And as we know, guys, it wasn't okay. But yeah, it was. I'd live that life again, to be honest, Rob, just from the experience and stuff like that. Because I got married, had two beautiful children, which were taken off from me at the age of 1 and 3, because I kept them for 2 or 3 days and went into a stupor of alcohol, and they were left no diapers being changed, no food. I nearly killed them. So, and it kind of went downhill from there. But yeah, interesting story. I've been telling this story. I'm not told the. There's a part of my story called the John story, which I was an angel. We 100% know that. Uh, but I wouldn't tell that for 20 years because I thought no one would believe me. So when I look back, somebody I thought or something always had a hand on me to make sure that I didn't die, but were placed in these situations that I was like, oh my God, what I found myself here. It's crazy. And at the age of like 16, 17, I was a session bass player. For those who do not know, recording studios have session players in case the bass player of the band can't make it. And what's traditional is the band makes a record. After the first, they don't get paid for a year. After the album sells, they start getting paid. Most people go crazy with the money, so the bass player is not available to come in and lay down the track, so they pay a session music, and that's what I did, and finally ended up at Abbey Road, playing with Elton John, Queen, Bowie, all them guys, and again, that was placed on me that I didn't know. It was crazy.
So when you say that, so how did you know that somebody had a hand on you?
It wasn't until I became homeless. So I did really well. I pulled away from the council estates, the projects. We had a nice house, new cars, business was going good. And then it all went wrong. Like, I stabbed my wife 2 times, 3 times one night because she wouldn't let me finish my bottle of vodka. So uh, I fled to Spain. There was a attempted murder charge out on me. I came back 3 months later, and when all charges had been dropped, I got home. My wife had all the cases packed and the children, ages 1 and 3, and she left. I got
Mm.
back the next day, and again fell into that stupor, and they took him off me. But and then about a week, 2 weeks after that, I was homeless. Like, I gave the house to my wife and went to my parents. They threw me out. Went to friends. They threw me out. Went to acquaintances. They threw me out, and I was on the streets. 14 months I was on the streets, surviving, getting drunk every day, dying a couple of times, hospital, hospital, hospital with alcohol poisoning. One morning, it was Monday morning, early hours, 2, 3, 4 o'clock. I'm walking around the back end of Manchester, and there's only uh, factories and offices. There's no living, so there's nobody there. Literally no, abandoned, nobody there. I fell down to my hands and knees, and I started to cry like a baby. The cry that's from your stomach, your aching. I was sobbing and sobbing and sobbing and sobbing. Now, I wasn't sobbing because I'd lost my wife, my children, my house, all that stuff. My family wouldn't speak to mum and dad, disown me. I was crying because right there and then, I realized I couldn't stop drinking. I looked up to the sky and I said these words: if there is a God up there, I can't do this on my own anymore. Still makes me feel upset now. Rob, 30 seconds later, this guy walked around the corner. He had a little Bible in his hand. He'd been to a Bible study. He's missed his last bus home. So he's been walking for an hour in the rain and everything. Takes a shortcut home that he's never taken before. And he comes upon me and he says, "Hey, my name's Derek. Do you need help?" And I said, "Yeah, I need help." Um, and he took me back to his house, man. And he said, "Rob, you can stay here for as long as you like, but you have to come to the AA meetings. I can't have you drinking in the house, Rob." I was like, "God, I hate them meetings, man. But it's a dry bed for the night." So I went. The very next day, Rob, we went. And sure enough, the meeting started, and I'm sat there kind of didn't want to be there. And then this guy, he said, "My name's John. I'm a recovered alcoholic." And everybody looked up, and I looked at him, and I said to Derek, "What did he just say?" And he said he's a recovered alcoholic. This guy spoke from the AA book. He spoke about God, which was traceable. Everything he said, like it's page 11. Oh my God, I've never seen that before. So after the meeting, I bolds up to him. "Hey, my name's Rob. John, will you sponsor me?" And he said no. And just
Mm.
before the freaking world opened up and swallowed me, he said, "But I will be your spiritual advisor for a period of 12 weeks," which I thought was insane. I was like, what? What does that even mean? What's a spiritual advisor, But he told me to get a big book, get the Bible, get a dictionary, and walk to his house every Wednesday, which I did. I left Derek's house at 6. I got there for 7. I stayed till 8, and I walked home till 9 for 12 weeks. The crazy thing is, I couldn't go up to his apartment on the first floor, second floor, uh, until 1 minute to 7. And then I would knock on the door at 7. He'd let me in. Halfway through conversation, 1 minute to 8, he'd stand up, pop me on his shoulder, walk me to the door, bid me a good night, and let me out. I thought that was a bit OCDC, weird. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but I knew when I finished them 12 weeks with the last day I was there, I knew that my DNA had changed. I wasn't the same person. Uh, and I was working with people, and he said, "Listen, Rob, I want to tell you this from God. Telling me to tell you until you can hear him. You have to go around the world and guarantee people recover from alcoholism." And I said, Derek, I can't do that, man. They'll kill me in the AA if I start doing that. He said, God has told you to do that, so the choice is yours. He gives us free will. The very next day, because he said things will change, man. The very next day, I'm at home in Derek's house. Derek comes home at lunchtime. He never comes home lunchtime. And he said to me, there's a part-time job going. The cleaners just resigned. You know, they're mopping the floors of the factory. Are you in? I said, yeah, of course I'm in. So I went back with him. Anyway, during the week, it turned into a full-time job. And, about 2 or 3 weeks in, I got my first pay packet, man. And it was like, oh my God, this is awesome. The first thing I thought is I'm going to go around to John. Uh, so I bought him a little teddy bear from the gas station and a card. And I wrote in the card, thank you, John, for introducing me to God because he, capital H, took the compulsion away to drink. And I went back to John's apartment and I'm so excited, Rob, to get there. Because everything he said had come true, man. Everything
Mm-hmm.
and more. And people were getting well, it's just crazy. I was working with people and, with the big book and God. And it was just like, it was amazing, man. And I just knocked on the door and there was no answer. And the woman on the right hand came out and she said, can I help you? And I said, yeah, where's John? Looks like, has he moved somewhere? He said, John who? I said, John, your neighbour. He said, oh, I've only been here like 3 months. I've never seen anybody there, but I'm on shift work, so I don't know. So I ran to the left-hand side, knocked on the door. And this big guy comes to the door. What do you want? Oh, it's John. John who? I said, John, the guy next door to you. What's wrong with you guys? He went on to tell me that apartment was derelict. It used to have yellow tape all over it, and if I was to open the door and walk in, I would fall 2 flights down and probably kill myself. So I think this guy's crazy, Rob. I'm like, okay, crazy. Went back to the meeting. I walked in the meeting, the chair went, Rob. I'm like, oh, thank God for that. I thought I was going crazy. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Does John still come here? And he said, John who? And I startled. I said, John, I was over near the coffee machine. We're talking about 12 weeks and you not see me? He said, oh my God, well, we thought you were praying. You were talking to yourself. Never found that man. And when I got
Wow.
wealthy, I put a private detective, the best that money can buy in Manchester, and they could not trace a hair of him.
Wow.
What? Yeah. So from then, my life's just getting better and better and better and better. It's giving back, and it's just been so right there. When after that, when I got myself a little place, I look back in my life and I see how I'd been strategically placed in situations that I wasn't supposed to be in, and that even the alcoholism I was supposed to have because my trauma and my alcoholic term was my greatest asset going forward. You see, I've always been a big guy. I was a fighter when I was 13, 14 professionally and, karate and boxing. So when I went in rooms, I think he chose me because I don't take any crap of anybody. If you want to, you can't say that in here. You want to step outside? Oh, no, don't be. Yeah, well, be quiet then because I'm on a mission here. And I've been on a mission ever since, Rob. And I convince people that, you come and see me for 1 hour and your life will change. If we're the only company in the world with a 98% success rate and a money back guarantee if you do that.
Wow.
Nobody does that.
That's,
Nobody in the world does
nope.
that. But that's what he taught me. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, is there anything profound in the people that you've helped that actually you want to talk about that you're privy to talk about that you can? So you don't have to say names, but
Well, again, as I came to America 18 years ago and started a little practice, and what we've known across the years is nobody gets placed in front of me by mistake. Like the crazy stories I hear, like one guy, drug addicts, prostitution. He used to hire prostitutes, and his wife was leaving him. And then the last night she picked him up from this bar, and she said, "It's done. I'm over. I'm done with it. I can't do this. I'm sorry, but I've got to." So he's drunk, right? And she's got her country music on, and he moves forward to press his because he likes blues. And as he went to press the button on the radio for his station, there's a bump in the road, and when he pressed it, I came on the radio. It's one of my radio interviews. So I know that people are put in front of me by not by mistake, but on purpose. And everybody has their own story how they found me. It's
that's
just
awesome.
insane. And I have a lot of officers around the world, but I primarily work with the movie stars and the actors and the big musicians today, uh, but we don't turn anybody down. And we 25% of our work is pro bono. So again, always giving back. But yeah, I often say to myself, I'm in a place right now that people of my stature with the upbringing I have should not see, should not be here, should not explore. They fly me around on $25 million jets, Rob. What the hell's that all about? Like, I don't know.
Hmm.
I've never even seen a house or anything a quarter of that price. And I sit on the plane, I'm like, God, I can't believe what God's doing for me, man. It's just unbelievable. And I have to stay loyal. That's the thing, Rob, and I'm sure you know, is I ask God for stuff. He wants to give us so much, but we ask for so little. I ask for stuff and I get it. Uh, but I've got to play my part. Every time I speak
Yeah.
at conferences or been asked to speak, there's always girls giving me their phone numbers. Ridiculous 21, 25, 65 for God's sake, 64, sorry. It's ridiculous, but they see the money and they see the confidence and all that. So I get that and either give it to my wife who's there or I take it home to my wife and we have a laugh about it. I just have to be careful that I know God puts in front of me people who can't afford and are downtrodden. They come to me, I've got no money, Dr. Robert, I need help. And we go, we can help you. Yeah, but I've got no money. It's not about the money, dude. So God tests me, and he tests me with the patience and he tests me with, you know, everything else around that. But typical one that I'm allowed to share about two that's legally in writing. So I'm not long here and we get a call off an agent and he's like, I've got a guy here, he'll be flying to you. It's all sorted out. It's just his name is Eddie Van Halen. And I have no idea who Van Halen is. I'm from England. I'm in the country like 4 months, 5 months. I don't know. So we picked him up. Now his record company had dropped it. So we picked him up at Dallas Airport, at Fort Worth. And I'm waiting for him. I don't know what he looks like, Rob. This is like 20 years ago. I don't, there's no freaking, no way of finding out. I mean, so he comes and he walks up to me. He said, Dr. Robb. And I said, yeah. He said, it's Eddie Van Halen. I went, oh, great to meet you, man. And just before I went to shake his hand, he went, shouldn't this be the other way around? I said, what? You should be recognizing me. And I said, hey, here we go. Let's stop right there. You can either shut up and get on my helicopter and ride, because we'd hired one for him, um, or you can get back on the plane and go home. Because we're not playing that shit here. This is serious. You're going to die. So that was one of them. And the other one was a huge actor that came that we picked him up from jail. We handcuffed him, we took him back, and he's talking and talking. So we slapped handcuffs on him, we put a gag around his mouth. I kid you not. We took him back to our ranch. We used to have a ranch, and we worked with him for 3 months. And about 2 weeks before he left, we got a package at the gate. So the guy went down, collected it, gave it to me. I gave it to him, and he opened it up, and it's one of the biggest movies in the world that he was the main star in. So things turn around. I see these miracles on a daily basis, Rob. And I'm like, wow, this is absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Not sure what happened. Probably the devil got on it. So
Oh, this always happens, Rob. I get like I think I'm on a Rogan December or something, and it's a big joke that when he gets there, all his equipment will fail. Because once you start talking about the real deal here, the God and the angels and it all goes fuzzy sometimes. It's the weirdest thing. But I was waiting for it to happen, and there you go, it happened.
but what you leave to somebody that's watching this you've endured and stuff that you've seen in your life that you would actually make them uh, want to hear from you?
Uh, this is not about any addictions or depression or anything like that. This is about changing lives and saving families, is what it's about. So everybody is capable of changing their life. Everybody's capable of succeeding, period. Because of the childhood trauma and stuff like that, we just don't believe we're good enough to do anything. So one has to start to believe that there is a God. Okay. Uh, this is what happens. So the mind is energy. You can't see it, touch it, but it sits inside the brain. Hence the saying, mind over matter. So this is the main guy, the mind. When the mind connects with God and energy, which God is, and you change the neural pathways and the three parts of the brain we mentioned, your DNA changes. We're the only company in the world that does this, but we have the power of God on our side. So I'd love to tell you guys I'm this clever, but I'm not. The stuff we do is stuff of miracles. There's so many people, been on other podcasts and TV and stuff going, what Dr. Robb does is not in this world. It's out of this world. It's crazy. But we change lives, man. And if you're sick to death of your life, or you need a connection to God, then you need to seek help, man. I mean, we better 90% of our business 10 years ago was alcohol and drugs. 5% now is alcohol and drugs. The rest are being freed from all the diseases, all the illness, the food, the drugs that we take from the pharmacy, all that stuff we're tied in that makes us ill. We cannot methylate 40% of any goods in any supermarket or store. So there's a lack of everything going on that the world needs to know and find out. Most of the reasons why you're depressed. So here's a normal thing, Rob. I feel depressed. I say to my wife. My wife says, "Oh, you better go and see the doctor." So I goes to the doctor. I said to him, "I feel depressed." He goes, "Okay, there's a prescription for depressed medication." I go home. I start on the prescription. Why isn't that doctor asking me about my diet, my home life, my work life? Do I have an exercise routine? He doesn't. So what I've got in front of me is a big paid drug dealer. So I take that depression meds, and now I'm stuck on that for the rest of my life because it's only serotonin, which it depletes my own serotonin. So why aren't we asking the question before we go to the doctors why my serotonin is low in the first place? See, if you look at the medical dictionary in the USA, depression says quite blatantly lack of serotonin. That's it. There are loads of ways to boost the serotonin. So we're stuck in the pharmaceutical world. So the food gets us sick, the pharmaceutical companies keep us sick. And a lot of people, and I'm talking about psych, I'm not talking about cancer or heart disease. A lot of people are, say, well, that can't be true. And my answer is, have you ever, anybody listening, have you ever been to the doctors that he's prescribed a medication that you've taken, it's cured your illness, and you never have to take it again? Yeah, I didn't think so. So when you understand that, you find out that these guys around us, these money-making guys, have got us trapped. So one of the biggest realizations I had is nobody's coming for me. No one's going to knock on the door with $1 million check or a great job. It's nothing. So the power of God has to be in my life to make these things happen. Without it, I'm nothing. I would be able to do this. Yeah, I keep saying, you think I'm this clever? No, I'm not. I just follow his direction. Every morning when I get up, I ask his direction, direct my attention to what you would have it be. That's it. Well, I don't go to church. I don't read the Bible. Uh, God's with me right now, sat next to me. He's directing me. The devil comes in, tries to mess the podcast up. God's laughing. Jesus is laughing.
Yep,
Because I'm
always.
sure, I'm sure about this, Rob, sometimes. So the devil goes to Jesus and he goes, "Listen, I got a problem here. Listen, I want to go and mess Rob up. I want to divert him to alcohol, porn. And Jesus goes, "Yeah, okay, it's cool." He goes, "What? Yeah, it's cool. Go on." So the devil comes
Try it.
down. Jesus knows he can't do anything, but he messes with you for a bit. And then you come back and he went back to Jesus and go, "What's going on?" He said, "He's loyal, man. He stood in the sunlight of the spirit. You think you can touch him? You can mess as much as time as you want with Rob, but you ain't going to pull him off and change him, man. I've trained him too well." So we see
Yep.
these things happen in our life. It's just, at first it was like, "Oh my God, that's a coincidence. That's the third time this week." It's like, I laugh at it now and go, "Well, here we go." In fact, the thing in the company sometimes is, I want Rob for an hour's podcast. Brilliant. You should say really 50 minutes. Why 50 minutes? You'll see. Because
You'll see.
we lose contact halfway through,
Yep.
So yeah, it's crazy.
So so what things are you doing now for God in this day and age? I know you do all this stuff for your God already, but I didn't know if there was anything new that you're working on or letting God lead you to.
Yeah, there is. So we're blatant enough to say we cure addiction, we cure depression, anxiety, all that stuff. We've done it. We can fix it 100%. Um, he's led me to Alzheimer's and dementia. And it was the weirdest way. We get a patient that comes. She's been everywhere. All the expensive doctors and all the places, hospitals and nothing. And her memory keeps depleting. So she brings us, the parents bring her to us. We're like, well, we've never done this before. I've got to tell you, but something's led you here. And it was a friend of a friend that heard somebody on a podcast that told me about me. That there's like 6, 7 people apart that told her, and then they come in. So we started to work with her with the program we have, and we also have what's called 9D. It's brain, it's a breath box. It's the company we run, which changed our pathways using breath work and subliminal messaging. And then we have photomodulation units, which burst open the neural pathway, especially short-term memory. And we've seen around a 12 to 13% increase in short-term memory. So we're really excited about that. We really are. So that's what it's got me on at the moment. So we're doing these studies behind the scene. We're talking, a good friend of mine is Gary Brecker. Gary Brecker is almost best friends with JFK, our new health
Mhm.
minister. So we're making some moves over there and they're looking at what we're doing. And we're like, yeah, we're doing it. We're doing. I don't take no for an answer because I know God's got me, and He's gonna find a cure. And alcoholism, you can't. There's lots of reasons, but yeah. So I know whatever I touch, He's gonna sort out and cure. I really believe that. So yeah, He's got me working on that. He's got me speaking at prisons. Like when a prisoner sends a message, sends a letter to us, we'll give him once a week free of charge or something, or like we're big on PTSD with veterans now, so no veteran pays in here. My rates are extortionate. I don't have anything to do with that. It's just who I am. But veterans, we never charge, and mums and dads of people that are suffering with addiction or PTSD, we never charge them. You can spend. I have a little unit over there at the back of the offices with my wife and another girl, and they're there primarily to answer the phone from moms and dads that are sick with worry about the kids. So
Mm.
that's what we're working on right now. I need a 100-bed rehab in San Antonio, 50% free, 50% paid. Inside the 50% free, we want a housing office, we want a clothing office, benefit office, workplace, get them out to work, set them up in housing, all that stuff before I decide that I'm done. So yeah, that's what we're focusing on right now.
That's great, man. I'm glad you're doing all that work down there.
Yeah, I enjoy it, man. Yeah, I, I have I have quite a bit of money over here, Rob, and all my offices around the world has at least 5 grand in every single time. So we get 5 grand and we stick it in the safe at every office. If you still have that 5 grand in the safe at the end of the month and you've not give it away, that 5 grand will be taken out of your wages and you'll donate 10. So everyone's aware. It never happens, but everyone's aware that that 5 grand every month that goes in needs to be given away. And me and my wife personally give $150,000 back into communities. The people that are
That's
struggling,
awesome.
fathers who've lost their children, they're going to court to get weekend access. We'll pay his legal fees, we'll buy a suit for him, we'll fight for him until he's strong enough to fight for himself. It's that kind of stuff that God's led me to, and I thoroughly enjoy it. I like to see the look on people's faces when they go, "Well, what's the catch?" Go, "Yeah, there's no catch." Well, don't be silly. You can't just give me $1,000. It's ridiculous. I know, right? You, and then we walk away. We don't want any glory or anything, but when I was on the streets, Rob, there was a few people that gave me like £5 and £10 here. That because of the alcohol poisoning, it saved my life, man. Derek saved my life. John saved my life. It started with Derek, and I just want to be your Derek. I tell people, it doesn't cost me anything. You think, I say this with the humblest of hearts, but if you think 5 grand is going to bother me financially, then I got to tell you what, man. I'm not gonna eat any less because I donate 5 grand. I'm really not. So then we started the non-profit about 2 or 3 months ago to help people more. So yeah, giving, 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 giving is what we're about. I stop at red lights, down the street, signal light, traffic lights, whatever you call it. There's a guy there collecting, and I give him $20. And the other day, my friend said, "Hey, you know what he's going to do with that $20, don't you?" And I said, "I hope he's going to buy alcohol or drugs, because that's what I do when I was in that situation. What I give is my deal. What he does with it is his deal. I,
Yeah,
I can't give him money and go, hey, by the way, there's guidelines here. It's like, no, giving is what I do. That's it. What you do with it, that's your
correct,
problem, man. I don't want to know,
correct.
but everyone wants to touch, I'll give you this, but you've got to do it. Why don't we just be free? Why don't we start giving away, donating to shit, and you watch your life take off? complimenting people every single day, 3 people at last. Do your breath work in the morning. We only breathe 45% of our lung capacity. So the presence of oxygen equals a lack of disease. Every disease in the human body starts in a hypoxic area, including the subconscious brain, that guy that wants to kill us and make it look like an accident. You got
Yeah.
to do these things, man. You got to be present. You got to be happy every day. You've got to be a 10 every single day. Like all my staff are and all my ex-patients now, because you never know when God's going to place somebody in front of you.
Correct.
You're going to sit there pissed off, not happy, blah, blah, blah. And that one opportunity, that guy might go home and do something silly because he's looked at me, who's supposed to be the guy leading all this, and all of a sudden I'm miserable and I've had a bad day. It's like, shut up. How can you have a bad day? Are you kidding me? How can I have a bad day? Now, I have better days than others, but how can I have a bad day, man? The
Mm-hmm.
bad days being selfish. The bad days, I have to be on guard all the time, and I love it. Now, when I go back home, we have a thing in our house, 6 p.m. pajama. 6 p.m. the pajamas go on and the phone gets switched off, and we spend 3 hours watching mindless TV with the dogs and stuff. And every time else, man, I'm here, man. My feet are always in the trenches. I'm not the guy sat on the top of a hill. I'm not the guy that look at me, look at me. I've got all this. I'm not that guy, man. Because when I die, nobody's getting my stuff. My family, well, what's left of them, my sister and my daughters, they're not getting my stuff. I've set them up. I bought the houses, done all that. That's it. You're done. You're on your own. The money I've got is going out to people before I pass away. I don't want
That's
to take
awesome.
it and leave it to what now. I want to see it now. I want to see it do good now, and people thrive. I love meeting people. Where they go, oh, Dr. Rob, oh my God, remember me? And I don't. I have no idea. Oh yeah, yeah, buddy. Oh my God, listen. So I'm managing that thing, and that job you told me to go. I'm the manager there now, man. I want to thank you, thank you, thank you. We say a quick prayer and we march on. Not going to bask in that glory. It's not my glory. If you think
No.
for a second it's my glory, you're going to be very disappointed, man. Very disappointed.
Yeah. That's great, man. I love all the stuff you're doing. It actually is very eye opening that actually there's people out there like yourself that are doing stuff for the Lord. So in the way you're doing it.
Yeah, I think that's part of the deal. Is the getting sober, the depression, and all that stuff is easy to get over. The earning $1 million is not that hard these days. But what is hard is staying humble, staying close to God, and it not ruining your life. It did almost once. I was doing a TV show in Paramount Studios, and they fly you in a private jet and all that stuff, and they show for you to the studio. And when I come out, like the audience, live audience, it was pumped up, man. I come out and I said to my wife, "Where's my chauffeur? I need to get to the airport." And she came over and she kind of slapped me in the face and said, "If I ever hear you say that ever again, this marriage is over. It's not your chauffeur. These guys are paid. Stay humble." And it was like, wow, so easy to jump, especially when you mix in with these guys, jump into that, where's my this, where's my that? It's like, how sanctimonious are you, Rob, to even
Mhm.
that come out your mouth? It's like God has, on 2 occasions, Rob, he's taken stuff away from me. He's taken my success, he's taken everything, and I relapsed, ended up in hospital, and nearly died again because I started to get complacent. I don't do that these days. But I know the penalty here, man. I mean, God is kind of a jealous God kind of thing. He's like, I'm going to give you everything, but you must give my attention and work on my behalf. You have to work with my kids, my children. That's it. That's the rule. And if you can't follow the rule, oh, he'll take shit away real quick. He has with me. He's not a bartering. Jesus ain't going to come down and barter with me. You didn't do this. And that's how I run my business. If you can't do the job I asked you to do, it's nothing personal, but I'll get somebody who can. Bye bye. And I think God does that with me. He's very blatant. He's given me a lot of stuff and a lot of things that I want and need and all that crazy stuff. I've given all the toys and everything. But you've got to stay loyal, man. You've got to do the 25% pro bono. You've got to be giving away. We give 25% of our company earnings back into communities. That's millions, and then the bank account we do ourselves. But yeah, got to be doing this all the time. And sometimes I'm not humble, and sometimes I curse too much, and sometimes I get like in a bad mood at home or stumble or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, in the public faces, I am here to help where nobody else can. And if you find that offensive, go and talk to God. He'll tell you.
So I do want to, yeah, I do want to touch on back at the beginning of your testimony, you were talking about that you're accused of murder.
Yes.
What
Right.
can we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course we can, man. So I'm upstairs and we're in bed. It's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I wake up. I need a drink. I need vodka. I know there's some downstairs. I'm hoping there's some downstairs. So I creep out the bed, creep downstairs, goes into the kitchen, searching, found this bottle of vodka. Brilliant. I put it on the side for a second. I turn around to get a crystal glass. How insane is that? Like, I'm not drinking out of the bottle. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm getting a $200 glass here to drink out of. But when I turned back around again, my wife had come down the stairs. She'd followed me. I didn't know this. And she snatched the bottle off the side. And she said, Rob, I think you've had enough. Now then, sanity would say, thank you, Mrs. Kelly. I'll go back up to bed and sleep until my board meeting in the morning. But the devil had me that much that I took a kitchen knife out and I stabbed her 3 times.
Mm.
I went to the door. I called a taxi, which was just around the corner. The taxi rank was around the corner. And I called the police and the ambulance. And I waited. And when I heard the sirens, I jumped in the cab and I took off to Spain. And I stayed there. And there was an attempted murder charge out on me. She didn't die. She fully recovered. Psychological damage must have been horrific. But because she recovered and didn't want to press charges, and her attorney and the other attorney came to agreement that all charges would be dropped. And that's when I came back home. It's crazy, you know. And I did a lot of work around that, as you can imagine.
Oh yeah.
So the nice thing is, Rob, is when the authorities took them off me, I was drunk overnight. They'd not been fed for 2 or 3 days and changed diapers, ages 1 and 3. The authorities kicked the door down. They came in. There was a crowd outside. My wife, her mother, her services, protection services, child protection services. The police were there, and they they took the children off me. And the last thing my eldest daughter said, so she's walking down the path with mommy. She's holding her hand like this, and she turned around and said 3 things to me. Daddy, Daddy, please don't go.
Mm.
I'm crying. Even one of the police officers was crying. It was sad, man. Halfway down the path, she turned around and said, Daddy, Daddy, please get better. And as she got to the gate, they opened this wrought iron gate. She turned around one more time and said, Daddy, Daddy, please stop drinking. And I couldn't do it, Rob. I couldn't do it. And I never saw her for 30 years.
Mm.
4 years ago, ping, in the middle of the night, my messenger goes, and I got to get it, might be patient. It's Charlie. We made to Charlotte, but we call it Charlie. And I looked at it like, I'm trying to get my eyes, like, get my glasses, like, holy, I woke my wife, it was Charlie, it's Charlie. And the first thing I saw, Rob, was, hey, Dad,
Mm.
which I have framed in my house right now. He says, hey, Dad, just seen you on TV. You know, I've been fighting thoughts over the last couple of years. I don't believe what Mum was telling me all these years. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I want to see you. I've got something to tell you or something like that. So we have a lot of people around us, as you can imagine. So we're on a plane within, like, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours. We're on a plane heading back to England. We gets there late at night. So we stayed in a hotel around the corner from a house. The next morning, Rob, I was shaking. I could hardly walk. My
Mm.
wife's got me walking onto a house and all the bad thoughts, all the crap. You didn't see your first boyfriend, you didn't see your first bike ride, all this stuff coming on. You wasted time, you're a piece of crap. And we got to the door and I couldn't knock. My physical body wouldn't let me knock on the door and I'm shaking. And my wife, Janet, she's holding me and she's crying. And she opens the door, Charlie, and we fell into each other's arms. And what seemed like hours was probably minutes. We cried, we laughed. Rob, she took me by my hand. She led me into her living room and she handed me my 3-month-old granddaughter.
Mm.
Try and tell me there's no God. I don't
Yeah.
believe it.
No.
Right there and then, Rob, I knew that I was doing his work.
Mm.
So when people say today, you know, what's the biggest achievement you've ever had, kind of monetary wise, and I go, it's not monetary, man. It's when I stood in the living room with my daughter and my granddaughter in my arms. That's my biggest achievement, you know. That girl today is my lead therapist in my Manchester, UK office.
That's incredible.
And 4 or 5 months ago, my youngest daughter got in contact with me. We're going over to see her this year, but It all comes round, man. God will bless you, man. You gotta stay loyal. You can't be going to church and then sleeping with your secretary at work. It doesn't work like that, man. I can tell you, I'm age 64. I know this stuff, man. I've been around a long time. It doesn't work like that. You have to stay loyal, man. You have to do the work around other people. Life is not about the money will come if you want the money. When I made my first million in America, it was about 2 years after I was here, driving to work in this nice brand new 911 Porsche. Their best officers around, uh, 60 grand Rolex watch on, Louis Vuitton shoes. I was the most miserable person ever. Miserable. And that's when I knew I had to change stuff. It's not about earning, it's about giving. And what I found out is I will never go broke by giving it away. There's something always, a couple of years ago, I always tell this story. Kind of a friend from AA came to me and he said, Rob, I need 5 grand. No, I said, I can't pay the rent, blah, blah, blah. I said, how much do you need? He said, I need 5 grand. He's at the door. I said, okay, remember the 5 grand in there? I was keeping the safe. Went upstairs, giving the 5 grand. And Janet said, ooh, I don't know if he's telling the truth there, Rob. Hey, we've give, it's great. Well, 5 grand, we'll replace it. As God is my witness, Rob, a day later or too late, it goes to the mailbox. We gets a check from the IRS, and it's a refund for $10,000.
Mm.
I mean, that's the story of my life. It's not my money. You know,
Never ours.
It is, man. And it's okay to have toys. It's okay to be rich. It's okay to be whatever you want to be, you can be. But play the game, stay close to God, He'll direct your attention, and you can have all that stuff, man. But here's the nice thing for me that I live in $1 million houses. I drive $250,000 cars. It's insane. Most of it's tied to the business, so we're good. But there is nothing that I can't let go within 6 minutes. So put me in a tent in the middle of nowhere tomorrow with my wife, my two English bulldogs, and my cat, and I'm going to be just as happy, just as excited as I am today, because it's not about the money. And I know it's really hard to say when you're struggling like I was. But it's okay for you to say. It's like, why are you waiting? What? We don't have time. Why are you not asking God for this? Why are you not working closely with Him? Well, I just stop it. Your DNA changes. You're not the same person. How many invitations do you need? Well, I just, don't believe in God. Okay, that's good. I can't help you, by the way, but go find somebody who can. Because we're like the old days. Do you believe in God? No, I'm an atheist. We can't help you, man. Yeah, but you've got all these. We can't help you, man. The basis of everything that we do in life is tied straight to Jesus. It's tied straight to God. And if you can't see that by now, man, take the freaking blinkers off. Somebody's put that there. Somebody's put that there that you can't succeed. Somebody's put that there that God's not worth anything. Somebody's put that there that you'll never ever achieve in life. It's a lie. It's not true. And you have to break away from this childhood trauma and imprinted behavioral and thinking patterns. And what we do is sit there and we moan all the time. We can't do this. I can never do it. You can have anything you want because He will give it. I said to my guy like 4 years ago, I'm going to ask for like a $3 million house. He's going to ask God for it. He's like, shut up, you. We got a $3 million house. And do you know what we do every Sunday? We have sober Sundays where all the people come in recovery and not, and the wives and the children. And we have this huge party. We've got a huge backyard with pools and jacuzzi. And we have a great fun. We have great fun, man. And there's always an office there and there's always upstairs where we completely do for people who need to stay overnight with us. So God gave it to us, man. Now, He wouldn't give it to us, or He might do, but He'll take it away. If I was like, look at me, my big house, blah, 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 never helped anybody and took the money and retired. It doesn't work like that, man. And the quicker you find out, guys, better your life's going to be. What's the worst going to happen? Your life's pretty shit now. So I believe in God for a week. I prayed to Jesus for it. It'll get better. I guarantee it. And if it doesn't, let me know. I'll send you a couple of $100 for wasting your time. I've never not seen it yet. It always happens, man. It's the fundamental basis of every child when they're born that Jesus is in their heart. The reason why it gets distorted is because of families. Oh, I don't go to church. I don't believe in that. God doesn't really exist. You can't really do. Remember when we were kids, Rob? Back home, we used to kick a ball. Imagine over you throwing a ball with your kids, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Johnny, what do you want to be? Oh, I want to be a pilot. What about you, Billy? I want to be a footballer. What happened to them dreams? I'll tell you. They got kicked out of us by our family and friends. It's the same with Jesus. People have turned away to computers. People have turned away to false prophets. People have turned away to the guys on the TV earning millions. It's like, what are they giving back? So before you follow any preacher or anything like that, what are they giving back? People, I want to be a millionaire. All them speakers, yeah, come on, I want to be a millionaire. You get there and you go, okay, well, I've been coming here for 12 years. I'm still not a millionaire. What's going on? The conscious contact with God is not happening. Then follow them guys home to that trailer or whatever, because they're lying, man. The false prophets, they're not going to get everything. They're just not. You can follow me on any time. I mean, we have a normal life. We shout and scream at people. We have laughs, we fun. And you can make your own life up, man. People don't believe that. When me and my wife got married, second day in, something happened, and we said, "You can," then we started an argument. And I said, I've been this before. I'm not doing this anymore, Janet. I'm not having these. I'm 60. I'm not doing it. And she's like, well, that's the way marriage is. And I said, says who? And she was shock on her face, and she looked at me. Says who? Who's making these rules up, Janet? Because I don't like them. So why don't we bless our marriage in here? Why don't we design our own marriage? And that's what we did. We designed a marriage. We designed a life. We designed all this amazing stuff that God gave us. We designed it so that we're not arguing. We're not nasty. We're not bitter. All this stuff is like, you've got to let that shit go, guys. It will kill you. So if your life's not going too well, and your life's falling apart and the wife's left and you don't see the kids anymore and a dead end job and you can't keep a girlfriend, can't keep a job, have a guess who's laughing? Do you think God is or the devil? I think it's the devil.
Yep.
Laughing that he's got his way. You have to stay close and he will provide. That's it. Stand in the sunlight of the spirit and nobody can touch you.
Yes. Be the light.
Yes.
The other thing is that in the Bible, it doesn't say anywhere about retiring. We had a conversation.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, yeah. Do you know what my dad always said, Rob? He said, the day you die, the day you retire is the day you die.
Yep.
And I truly believe, I've got 4 businesses right now. I ain't going nowhere.
Yep.
This life is a mess. But oh God, I love that, man. To write that down.
Nowhere in the Bible does it say we retire.
Love it.
Is there anything else you want to say to the people that are watching that, like your mission statement or who you are? Also, I asked if anybody comes on to do the ending prayer too, if you can.
The what prayer? Sorry.
The ending prayer, like a closing prayer.
Oh, for me, I can do that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Of course.
I let everybody do it because it's your testimony. It's all about you and God. So it's not about me. It's about the people that come on and tell their story.
So I'll finish with 2 things, guys. God puts people in your path every single day. And if you're not your best that day, then things are going to happen for the other guy. Okay. Guy gets up in the morning, he walks to the Golden Gate Bridge, he throws himself off and commits suicide. The police pull him out of the water, they search for next of kin. They find his address, they go back to his apartment. While they're searching for next of kin, they find a letter on the kitchen table and it read, I'm going to walk to the Golden Gate Bridge, which is an hour's walk, by the way, guys. I'm going to throw myself off and commit suicide. Unless on the way there, somebody smiles at me, says good morning, nods at me, and I'll stop right there, I'll turn around, come back to the apartment and try again tomorrow. Question. How many people have you walked past today, guys, that's heading to the Golden Gate Bridge? You just never know, man. And this is why we have to make the effort. So before my prayer out, this is how, we don't tell anybody this, but I tell them when they're on, is we don't go asking to be on podcasts. We don't do that. We turn down, I want to say 20 or 30, maybe 40 a month that we're just not interested in. This is how we do our podcast. You'll never see me come on and sell my businesses. You'll never see me come on and sell my books. I don't do that. If we can change one person's life, we've done our job, Rob. But Courtney is my media director, and she scours the internet for 8 hours a day, looking for somebody who's changing the world. And then we humbly ask, we don't tell them who we are, what we do. We humbly ask if Dr. Robb can come on the show. So kudos to you, Rob, because she saw something in you that really moved her. And she texted me straight away, hey, you're going to speak to Rob? And I don't ask who it is anymore. I don't ask how many followers. Who gives a shit how many followers we got? We have 2 people watching this and one person changed his life. Boom. So thank you, Rob, for what you do. Thank you being so powerful, around and leading people. It's absolutely amazing, man. And what I found in my life is people don't tell us that enough because we think we already know. Oh, I did. See what Dr. Rob did is amazing. And have you told him? No, I mean, he already knows. Nobody knows, man. So thank you, Rob. You're amazing. Let's pray us out. Dear Father, we thank you for this day, Father, and we thank you for Rob and his amazing podcast. Thank you for connecting us. I hope this message through you connects so many people that can come to you and change their lives, Father. We're so grateful for the day. We know we only have today, Father, and we're going to do the best we can today to bring people to you, live a happy and joyous and free life today, all thanks to you, Father. And may we just go on and you can direct our attention to what you would have it be. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen. And thank you so much for coming on, Dr. Robb Kelly. That brings me to my announcements. If you'd like to come on my show or tell a testimony, or I do live baptisms at Lewis Beach in our local beach area by the fishing pier in Cape Henlopen State Park. Reach out to me at 302-313-6190 or email me at liftupnations@gmail.com. Also, I'm ramping up for doing something new. We're actually doing worship nights at a local Hudson Field. I'm getting local churches to come together to praise and worship you and have the pastor at that church speak on behalf of doing a little sermon. Also, at the end of the year, January 2026, I'm doing a Christian conference for men and women at our local beach area at Atlantic Sands Hotel. So those are some of the things that are coming up. And if you're interested, reach out to me at 302-313-6190, or you could go to my website at liftupnations.com. That being said, thank you, Dr. Robb Kelly. Beautiful story. Love all the work you're doing. You're an amazing man. God has put an anointing on you to do the work you're doing. And we all need to stay together so we can actually move more people to believe and people to come to Jesus. Maybe at some point we could all do a big conference and actually have something profound happen in the United States. So that being said, I bless you for all that you do. And hopefully I can have you on again and we can talk about other stuff that is more profound that we need to work on in this world for bringing people to Jesus. So that being said, thank you all and God bless.